Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video we are going to be making a napkin ring to match my large doily. We will be using the one needle or string technique. I have 3 feet of 4-pound fishing line I will be using. The beads that I used are for this piece here is 8/0 seed beads, and these are the colors that I used in these pieces. The width I wanted was 1 to 1.5 inches wide, so I'm using the widest of my band patterns. And then I wanted it to be 4 to 5 inches long, which here I've already marked my pattern. In my patterns I do include instructions. I also have created a beading tutorial for band instructions that you can find at this URL that will explain the instructions more carefully, just in case that would be easier for you. Now, let's begin. I have my string with the tape at one end so the beads do not fall off. And when I work with band patterns, I start at the bottom right of the pattern. Our first circle will be all yellow, so we need 6 yellow beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we'll let them all drop down to the tape, and then we'll take the first bead that we added and go through it in the same direction, so it's coming out the same side that our string's already coming out on. And then we bring our beads together and we have our first circle. Now our next circle is also all yellow, so this time we want 5 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let them drop down, and then we find the top bead, which is the bead our string is coming out of the previous circle, and we want to go through it so our string is coming out on the same side it's already coming out on. And we bring our circle down, and there we have 2 circles. Now we want to be at the top of this circle we just added. So to do that, we need to go through 2 side beads, and then the top bead. And that gets us in position for our next circle. Now our next circle has different colors, so what I like to do is to keep my tape on the right side of my piece, so that means my string is coming out right now on the right side. So when I start the next, I will look on the right side and work my way to the left. So we need a yellow, followed by 4 red beads, and we find that top bead where our string is coming out, and we go through it same direction as the string is already coming out. And again we go through our 2 side beads, and our new top bead. Alright, now our next will be 2 reds, two yellows, followed by a red. again, we go through the top bead, the 2 side beads, and our new top bead. Right now, the next 2 circles are all yellow, so we'll want 5 yellow beads. And again, 5 yellow beads. Alright, now we need 3 red beads. Oh wait, yes, 3 red beads. A green, and another red bead. Right, now we need 2 greens, a red, and then 2 yellows. Now this next set is all red, so we need 5 red beads. Now we need a red, a yellow, another red, and 2 greens. 2 greens, 2 reds, and a yellow. I like to go through both my side beads at the same time, but these ones are not cooperating, so I'm going to do one at a time if I can get through them. There's one. And there's 2. That's my 2 side beads, and now we go through the new top bead. Right? And now we have all red, which will be 5 red beads. Right, now we need 2 yellows, a red, and 2 greens. And we need a green, a red, a yellow, and 2 more reds. That's 1 side bead, and 2, and the new top. Right. Now our next 2 will be all yellow, so we need 5 yellow beads. We're adding our second set of yellow, so 5 more yellow beads. Now we need 1 yellow and 4 reds. Now we need 2 reds and 2 yellows and a red. Right, this next circle will be all yellow. So that's 5 yellow beads. Now, move this over. Make sure this is in the video. That's good. Alright, now we are currently coming out right here. That's where our string is. And this bead that's cut through by our line, and this bead down here, which is also cut through by our line, is the same bead. So what we want to do is we want to add 2 beads. Then we'll go through the one that's already on because it's the same bead, and then we'll add another 2. So here are some steps we need to make sure we do. First, we need to make sure that our string is on the left side because it's in the pattern we're coming out the left side. So first make sure you look at your top bead and make sure that your string is coming out on the left side. Then you want to take that and you want to wrap, making sure it stays flat, your other side up and over so it is on top. Actually we need to do that after so let's first add our 2 beads. Add our first 2. Then making sure to keep our string on the left side, take our piece, make sure it's flat, wrap it up and over, and then double check that your piece is flat and not twisted in any way. You want to enter from the left side and go to the right side. And one way you can tell is your tape should be on the right side. So you'll go from the left to the right, and as long as your piece is perfectly flat and not twisted, you will be good. Now we're through the shared bead, this one here, the one that is shared, and we're now going to add our next 2 beads, the ones on this side. And then we want to go through this top bead where our string originally is exiting from. So we'll go through that one. And there we have completed our first row, and it is connected. Okay, so all of these are added, including all of these, because this is where we started. And now what we want to do is we want to add these beads. So we want to be up here. We want our string coming out in this direction. So what we do is we take our bead string, and here is our shared bead. We want to go up one on the left side and go through just the one bead that is right above where our string is coming out. And now we're ready to add the first set for the new row, and this set will be all red. So we need 4 red beads. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now take our pattern, or our piece, and our string is coming out this bead here. We want to go to the opposite side and go in this bead that is on the opposite side of where our string is coming out. And we want to enter it from the opposite side. And then we want to re-enter the bead that our string is coming out of. And when you pull it, you have your first circle on your new row. Now to prepare for your next circle, you want to go through the next 2 side beads. That's 1 and 2. And you want to make sure that you go through the next 2. Don't accidentally go through a center bead, just the 2 side beads there. Now we have added this one here, and we're now ready to add this one. Now because our line is here, that means we need to come down here, and these will be our first 2. So that's 1, 2, and then this will be our third bead. So that means we need 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And in this case they are all red. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then we go through the top bead of our previous circle, and we need to go through the 2 side beads again, and that has on our second circle. Now we need to go through 2 new side beads, the next 2, and we're ready for the third. So we'll mark that, and that will be ready for when we get to the end of this row. And now we are down here at the bottom. We've added these 2 beads here, and we will just continue going just like we did with the first row. So we need a red, a green, oops, I jumped up one. We want the next here. We first want 3 reds. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Lost my bead. All right. Now we want to go through the top bead of the previous circle again, and our 2 side beads for the circle we are working on. And then we want to go through the next 2 side beads. like I said, just be careful. Make sure you are going through the side beads and not accidentally going through a center bead. Alright, now we are ready for a red, green, and red. Go to the top bead, our two side beads, and the next two side beads. And this next one we need two reds and then a green. Right, now we have the next two sets are all red, so we need 3 red beads. Top, sides, and new sides. And then 3 red beads again. Is now we need 2 reds followed by a green, oh sorry, did that backwards. No, I did something wrong. We will restart that. We want the green first and then the 2 reds. Now this next one is going to be all green, so we want 3 green beads. a yellow, and another red. And now we need a yellow, a red, and a yellow. And then this circle will be all yellow, so we need 3 yellow beads. And I think our string is now short enough that I shall tie back. So I want to go through my 2 side beads because that helps to set the circle. And then what we're going to do for tying off is we're going to weave back like a figure 8, except we're going to go back about 4 circles, 1, 2, 3, so it's a double figure 8. And then once we get there, we're going to weave back the 4 circles. So we go through the top bead, 2 side beads, and then the center bead, and then 2 side beads, and then the center bead, and 2 sides, and center, 2 sides, and center. And then we turn and we head back the direction we came from. Go through the 2 side beads, center, and these 2 sides, and then the center, the 2 sides, and center, 2 side beads. That went through the center also, so we're back where we started, and we can now clip off the excess. And then we want to go where our tape is, and the tape should just slide right off your string, just like that. And you can go either direction, but you want to do the same thing. You want to go 4 circles, weaving back and forth. once you get back where you started, just clip off the excess. And there you have the beginning of your napkin ring. And we will continue from where we left off in the next video. See you then.